Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Konig XG12 snow tire chains here on our 2020 Toyota Highlander. If you guys are looking for a nice way of giving yourself a decent set of chains to go ahead and start getting through some of your more lightweight duty kind of snow and ice, I highly recommend taking a look at these guys as they are awesome. One thing I really love about them, super easy to install. You guys are going to see later in the installation video, you barely have to do any crawling around on the ground, and we all know messing with that snow and ice, that's definitely an added benefit. What's great about this, not going to take you too much time just to throw it in the garage before you guys get going, which is great so you don't end up stuck somewhere in the ditch. So what we have going on here today is going to be our diamond style pattern. They're not going to be too aggressive, but just aggressive enough to start biting through that snow and ice and getting us out of any sticky situations. Now the diamond style is offering you really good coverage here across the entirety of your wheel, and you can see Konig also has these nice little kind of square chain blockers that kind of hold it in the middle here. What I really like about that, we're having constant contact of our chain throughout it, right? So we're always having traction. And if you compare this to like a ladder style chain, the ladder style is awesome, especially for just straight driving, highway driving, because you have that start and stop maneuverability because you have those hills and valleys you're overcoming. With the diamond style, your biggest hill and valley is going to be right here where you actually get it mounted. That's your biggest spacing here throughout the entirety of that. So what that means is when we make our turns, we're not losing any of our turning radius because we're not have to overcome those hills and those valleys every time. So we're going to have that constant protrusion, which is great, going to be clawing us through that snow and ice, which is awesome. Really not going to take any time at all to actually get this guy installed, and the manganese nickel alloy on this guy makes it really easy to service. These guys are going to last you for the years to come as long as we put just a little bit of maintenance into it, which is great. One thing to take note of here, we do have it on our rear wheel here today. Now, not every Toyota Highlander is an all-wheel drive vehicle. This one just happened to be, so we threw it on the back here. Most of us at home might have the standard front wheel drive package, so go ahead and throw these on the front wheel if that is your vehicle at home. But that's probably going to be the only big difference for us here today. Let's go ahead and see how we get it installed. All right, guys, to begin your installation, what you want to do, go ahead and lay your chains just like so. Things we're looking for here, any kind of kinks, any kind of our chains getting bound up on each other. A lot of times what ends up happening with this guy, these guys on the ends here, like to get kind of caught up on either end. That's probably the only thing to really look out for. The other things we want to keep in mind, we want this guy going to be towards the outside here. And of course, we have our adjuster over here. That's going to be on that side as well. Now what we're doing here is slinging this around our tire and bringing it over the top. So we have our soft points of contact on this side, or our smooth side. So if you guys want me, I can bring you guys a closer shot here. On the other side of here, you have your hard points of contact. So we don't want that making contact with our wheel. That can end up puncturing, scraping, and overall deflating our tire, and we definitely don't want any damage going to our wheel. So we can simply take this though, and now that we do have it in the right position, sling it underneath and around our vehicle. And now that we have our tire chain going around it, you can bring both ends of your cable around and connect them above your wheel. As we do that though, we just want to seat our chain on here appropriately. And what I like to do is kind of hold these two front ends. I'm not going to make that connection yet, but I like to kind of keep them up here together and then start seating my chain and making sure that it's actually fitting right. So it is looking pretty good here to me. So we can go ahead and take our front connection now. All we have to do is latch in both of these together, just like so, and reseat your chain to make sure it fits properly. Now that you have that first front connection made, we can take our adjuster here, bring it to our latch. All you want to do, bring that silver piece out. That latch is going to allow you to stick this guy in place, and then we can actually start utilizing this pulley system. So you can see we have a lot of slack, right? We're going to go ahead and fight against that by simply pulling in our adjuster here. There we go. Keep that process up until we're nice and tight. Now I'm seeing a lot of extra chain here. So what that's telling me is we might need to go ahead and readjust just a little bit here. And then maybe what we need to do is actually try to get this connection here to be a little shorter. So I'm going to go ahead, back this back just a few steps and go down to our second or maybe even our third element here. And that's just something sometimes you have to do. So let's go ahead and try that together. So I went ahead and actually adjusted this down. You guys can see we have a red inglet here that's hanging off. All I did was go to that second one. That just gave me a nicer, tighter fit at the top, allowing me to take a lot of that slack out. Then we can go ahead and grab our tensioner here and simply pull one more time to really get it nice and tight. There we go. Now that we're nice and latched in there, I'm gonna go ahead and just check around my wheel. Not having any place where I can place a finger or two under, that's great. It means we are sitting nice and pretty. Simply take this guy, your other hook, loop it in, and there you are, nice and installed. Now, the only other step is to actually start driving your vehicle, as this is a self-tensioner. So as you drive, it's actually gonna cinch itself more to have an even better fit. Well, as you guys saw, that installation took no time at all. Really love that I'm staying on the front of my vehicle, not having to get in that muck and mire, and actually get them installed in no time. Really, really like how it's self-tensioning as well. That way I know it's gonna stay nice and tight on my wheel the entire time that I drive. You also do get this nice little traveling case with it. This becomes awesome to keep it stored into before you get them out. Now it's gonna do a decent job when they are kind of like mucked up. However, they do have open holes in there so that water will drain. So it's not really a sealed carry. So kind of keep that in mind. Now it does come with a kneeling pad and some gloves. Now it's better than nothing, but it's really just a little plastic on your hands. You really can't beat actually having some nice little gloves to go ahead and actually service these guys. A, for the smell. B, they're gonna be cold, they're gonna be nasty, they're gonna be no fun. So I would recommend getting some nicer gloves. Great to have them though, always a nice little benefit. Well guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Konig's XG12 snow tire chains here on our 2020 Toyota Highlander. I'm Bobby, thank you for watching.